Good afternoon, parents, family, and faculty, and a huge congratulations to my fellow graduates. We did it. I spent the better part of my 4 years here trying to figure out exactly what the Duke difference we were advertised during Blue Devil days was. For a while, I was convinced it was the sheer number of squirrels on campus, a figure unmatched by our peer institutions. It's a shame the university rankings don't factor in squirrel to student ratio. But I found the beginnings of my true answer during an ICS lecture I attended last year. The guest speaker evaluated global healthcare initiatives using game theory. He explained that there are two types of games: finite and infinite. Finite games have a set of rules, clear objectives, constant number of players, and fixed endpoint. The goal of finite games is to win, and players are defined by their ability to achieve that objective. In contrast, infinite games have no fixed objectives or endpoint. Players in infinite games are defined not by their ability to win, but by their commitment to keep the game going, to keep all participants playing as long as possible. While finite players play within the boundaries, infinite players play with the boundaries, often pushing and redefining the limits and possibilities of the game itself. With this new paradigm in mind, the puzzle pieces of my Duke experience began to fit together. From late-night pool games in the dorms to basketball matches in Cameron, we've become very familiar with finite games during our time here. College, in many ways, is itself a finite game. We had a set of rules, our course requirements, a clear objective, graduating, and a fixed endpoint, today. But finite games are limited in their application to the real world. Bounded and predictable, their challenges are defined by a series of arbitrary spatial, temporal, and behavioral limits that don't reflect reality. We know now that our whole world can change in an instant, as it did during the pandemic, and you have to adapt however you can. The rules change, players come and go, new ideas and perspectives emerge. That's life. Furthermore, while finite games are negative sum, meaning that at least one player must lose for another to win, infinite games are positive sum, meaning that success is not exclusive. Outside of Duke's gates, class rank and curves don't exist. Sharing the fruits of individual ingenuity is what promotes collective innovation. As I look back at my time here, I realize that if there is any fixed star in Duke's ever-shifting constellation, it is that we always strive to play the infinite game. Much of my own experience was not bound by strict rules or fixed outcomes, but aimed at improving the world around me. For example, I spent years right here working at the Keenan Institute's refugee service programs. ICS faculty guided me through providing Durham's newcomer families with emergency food assistance, setting up apartments for Ukrainian and Afghani families, and advocating for migrants in schools and hospitals. Outside of ICS, I conducted research at Duke's Lemur Center, whose breeding program houses the world's largest number of lemurs outside their native Madagascar. For nearly 6 decades, the Lemur Center has embodied the infinite game. Its groundbreaking conservation efforts for the most endangered group of primates on the planet emphasize the importance of long-term thinking to achieve radical progress. For me, working to address these seemingly insurmountable problems was far more fulfilling than chasing a set of personal accomplishments. And you all felt the same. In the spirit of ongoing learning, many of you spent summers abroad boosting rural communities' access to education in Kenya, teaching English to migrant communities in Korea, jump-starting eco-friendly initiatives in Paraguay, and delivering healthcare to low-income communities in Uganda. These Duke Engage programs, along with many others, put into practice the ethos of the interconnected world our ICS curriculum inspires us to build. All of your experiences were focused on pushing the current boundaries of knowledge in order to improve the future of humanity, on sparking the changes your ICS professors first helped you envision in the classroom. After returning, you published reflections on these experiences. In them, you demonstrated a resilient commitment to shifting public discourse in an open-ended manner. You addressed why global imaginings matter and explained how we create new ones. Even beyond ICS, I saw hallmarks of the infinite game during this year's tenting season. As Cameron Crazies, we braved freezing temperatures, floods, and sirens, sleeping in tents for weeks on end for the chance to support our basketball team in the annual home game against rival UNC. And we didn't do it for one maverick player in any given Sunday record-breaking miracle game, or even a leader as legendary as Coach K. We did it to be a part of the team, win or lose, and continue the 118-year legacy of Duke basketball. Of course, the hope is that our outrageous ambition will persist long after graduation. Fortunately, some of our ICS predecessors have provided us with aspirational blueprints. Take, for example, Rio Ragland, who graduated in 2009. During his time as a policy advisor at the UN World Food Program, he pioneered strategic plans for Armenia, Cambodia, Ecuador, Indonesia, and Zimbabwe. Additionally, Matthew Tran, who graduated in 2019, is bravely navigating the choppy political waters at the helm of the Center for Popular Democracy, a national advocacy organization that lobbies for pro-worker economic justice policies. These are just two of the hundreds of ICS alumni who could give a masterclass in the infinite game. In teaching us how global power operates when it is not found at the end of a tank or gun, ICS has given us the tools to play the infinite game in perpetuity. Though our time here is finite, we must always remember that we are forever Duke. When we go off into the corporate world of consulting or policy, it is so easy to get sucked into constant competition. And that's not to say that you shouldn't fight to win individual battles. On the contrary, fight like hell and take no prisoners. Show them that we bleed blue. As we move forward in our lives, we will encounter many finite gains. There are times when we will be defined by our ability to win, by our achievements or our failures. But these are not the only games that matter. The real game, the infinite game, is the one that we will be playing for the rest of our lives. So let's take what we learned here at Duke and at ICS and embrace the infinite game. Let's commit to a cause larger than ourselves, to a purpose that transcends individual achievement. Let's experiment, take risks, grow, fail, learn, and find our passions in the process. And through it all, let's never forget that the ultimate goal is not to win, but instead to push ourselves and others to keep playing the infinite game. Thank you.